Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of May 29th. So we have quite a few cosmic events happening this week. First up is the Gemini new moon. This falls on May 30th, and I am actually really looking forward to this new moon. Maybe you are too, because it brings the end of eclipse season. The eclipses have been heavy. If you have been feeling that heaviness, if you have been dealing with a lot of change and transformation, if you've just been simply feeling that sort of weighted feeling and that stagnant energy, that heavy energy that eclipses can sometimes bring, this new moon is going to help lift all that. It closes the eclipse portal. It represents the start of a new lunar cycle. So we're on a new lunar cycle, away from that eclipse cycle, onto fresh energy. This new moon is going to help us to integrate, digest, and really start to accept whatever has unfolded under that eclipse energy. It brings a fresh wave, really helping us to go, okay, this is where I've landed, now what? And feeling confident and empowered with whatever decisions we have to make. And that is kind of amplified because a couple of days after this new moon, Mercury stations direct. That happens on June 3rd. And seeing as this is a Gemini new moon and Gemini's ruler is Mercury, that just kind of gives it a little bit of extra weight. The fact that Mercury will station direct just a couple of days after this new moon. So if you're feeling that heaviness, even if you're feeling a little bit of that Mercury retrograde side effects, which can sometimes be a bit of mental fogginess, a little bit of indecision, lots of thoughts going back and forth, not really knowing how we feel or how to address a certain situation, with Mercury going direct a couple of days after this new moon, that clarity will dawn. One thing that I will say, even though this energy is there and we'll probably organically feel it, it's really powerful to set intentions. So actually, whenever I talk about any cosmic alignment or any energy, setting an intention to work with it, to feel it, to integrate it into your being is a great place to start. So, while this new moon is there and the energies will automatically start filtering through our being, if you really want to consciously work on it, set an intention to allow this fresh new moon energy to weave its way through your body, through your energy field, and into your day. As always, I have a ritual for you which can really, really help with that. That can kind of be the next level. But if you just want to do something simple and small, setting that intention is a great way to embody any of the energies that I ever talk about. I'll drop a link for the new moon ritual below. There's one really nice energy around this new moon. So this new moon energy is actually quite quiet. There's nothing that I can see or that I can feel that just, is loud, is, bold. It feels like a nice, quiet energy, which I think is something that we all really need. And one thing that really stood out to me is the beautiful healing nature of this new moon. It makes an alignment with an asteroid called Chariklo. And Chariklo is the asteroid of spirit medicine. So this is really about healing on a spiritual level and also turning to our connection with nature for healing. So that could be, eating good nutrition, plant medicine, herbal teas, any type of, taking a walk in nature, sitting next to a tree, being surrounded in nature. That type of healing, that energy level healing, can be very powerful and extra supported and enhanced under this new moon. Of course, spirit medicine and healing through nature is something that's accessible to us all the time, but it's just a little bit more amplified under the energy of this new moon because of this beautiful alignment that it's making with Chariklo. Chariklo is also a very soft, feminine, gentle energy. So if you're feeling like you could use some of that in your life, really making time and space to be out in nature, to connect with the feminine energy of your being, and to enjoy the beautiful bounty and harvest that this Mother Earth provides us, Maybe it's making a beautiful, nutritious meal, going to the farmer's market, intuitively picking some vegetables and fruits that call to you, just working with nature and your body to bring healing. So that's a really nice energy that I really like under this new moon. So then, of course, after the new moon, I already mentioned on June 3rd, we have Mercury stationing direct. Mercury always takes a little bit of time to kind of get back into its groove after being retrograde. So give that a little bit of breathing space, but I'm sure that's a welcomed energy for many of you. Mercury retrograde can be a struggle for a lot of people because it really requires us to get still, to get patient, to take a few steps back, to go within. Our whole world, we're programmed to be out here on the external level. So it can be hard. Sometimes it can even be impossible to, make that time, that commitment to always be in that internal state. We have jobs, we have lives, we have kids, we have decisions that come onto our plate that we have to make, for whatever reason. We can't always take that, oh, Mercury retrograde, I'm going to sit back and retreat and be patient and not do anything, so we have to learn to sort of work with it, to integrate it. Mercury is considered the messenger of the gods. And so I really feel that when Mercury stations direct, all of those messages that have been in our subconscious come up to the surface. Mercury delivers those messages to us. So be on the lookout. What insights, what little aha moments, what pieces of wisdom, or pearls of wisdom, I should say, come up from our subconscious as Mercury stations direct. That's a cool way to think about Mercury, that really when it's retrograde, it's sourcing messages from our subconscious. When it's direct, it's helping us on the external, more conscious level. And as it goes retrograde, our little messenger is working on a more intuitive internal level. So if you think of Mercury retrograde that way, it kind of helps to understand how we can channel some of those energies. So Mercury will station direct, that's on June 3rd. On June 4th, this is a very significant day. We have Saturn going retrograde. Now, Saturn retrograde is a little bit different to a Mercury or a Venus or a Mars retrograde. Saturn retrograde happens every year and it's a very subtle energy, so it doesn't really influence us that much. However, this particular Saturn retrograde is very, very special because it is the last time that Saturn will retrograde in the sign of Aquarius for the next 28, 29 years. So Saturn is sort of like the strict teacher of the zodiac. It's always dishing out the hard lessons because it knows we can handle it and it wants to see us grow. It wants to see us flourish. So as Saturn goes retrograde, it is going to be going back over the past, making sure we have learned all the lessons that we've needed to learn, making sure we have been doing our homework. And as this is the last time Saturn will be retrograde in Aquarius, it is really going to be ensuring that we have done our homework and done our lessons, because it moves on after this. I think it's March 2023, Saturn will leave Aquarius for good and enter into Pisces, setting up a whole new lesson, a whole new energy. So as it's finishing up its journey in Aquarius, it really wants us to make sure we've got those lessons. Saturn always leaves a gift. Whenever we do the work, whenever we work with the energies of Saturn and rise up to the challenges it brings, we are always given a gift. Saturn works in the name of growth, maturity, creating stability, helping us to, basically gain success in life. And so it always brings a gift, especially once it stations direct again. So Saturn will do that in October, but for now it's entering retrograde, helping us go back over the past. I have an article about this Saturn retrograde, and I've gone through and I've listed all the significant dates of this Saturn cycle so far. So you can go back and have a look and see what themes have been manifesting for you on those particular dates, so you can start to create a really solid understanding of your own Saturn in Aquarius cycle. On a global level, it's very, very interesting that Saturn entered Aquarius for the first time in March of 2020, when a lot of the lockdowns and the pandemic started happening in many countries around the world. So it's really interesting that on a collective level, that was a key event that basically aligns almost to the day of Saturn moving into Aquarius. So you might be, if you keep a journal, this will be really easy to go back and have a look on all those key days of Saturn working the Aquarius cycle. On a collective level, it definitely seems very connected to the pandemic, but you'll also have things that were happening in your own life that you can go back and take a look at. So check that article out. I'll drop a link below. You can, of course, find it at foreverconscious.com and just go through those dates and think about what themes, what thoughts, what feelings were happening at those points in your life, and how Saturn may have been encouraging you to grow, to step up, to take responsibility, to mature and blossom in an area of your life. So that is the energy for the week. We are, of course, heading into June as well. So new fresh month, new fresh energy. That new moon kickstarts all that with the fresh lunar cycle. We've got Mercury stationing direct. Lots of fresh energy filtering in, and I think we're going to start to feel that. So away with the eclipse energy and on to new things. I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you guys so much.